Good morning. How are you this beautiful May morning? Here in Summerland, I watched the news for the first time and I learned that we are under a state of emergency here in Summerland. So I was expecting my friends and family to be calling and saying, hey, wow, are you all right? Welcome to Start Now with Linda show, and I am your host, Linda Adamowski. Today, I am talking about your point of view creates your reality. Your reality doesn't create your point of view, and it's quite interesting that the universe just kind of supplies me with so much to talk about on that. I am a little late starting this morning because I've had a TELUS technician at my house looking at my Wi-Fi and internet service and yada, yada, yada. And I have a point of view that technology sucks, it's challenging, it never works properly, and guess what? That is my reality on many, many occasions. I have problems with technology, with Wi-Fi, I purchased a movie a couple of weeks ago and it was going to take 29 hours to download. And of course, it gave me lots to be upset about. It gave me lots to be angry and even more evidence that technology sucks. And so, where are there areas in your life that you create your reality by what your point of view is? So on the other hand, I believe that I will always get a great parking spot. And I do. It never fails. No matter where I go, whether it's Christmas time, busy, you go to the mall at a busy time of the year that the parking lot is full, I always find, maybe not always rock star parking like front row, but I find great parking every single time. Because I believe I will. It's like it's not even an issue. It doesn't even cross my mind that I won't get a parking stall. And it's so amazing how we create these things that go on in our life. Do you know someone who is always talking about how terrible drivers and how terrible traffic is? My ex-husband was like that. He was constantly, whenever we drove in his vehicle and he was driving, there were terrible drivers everywhere. And he was constantly in a fit of upset and rage because there were terrible drivers. And yet I'm like, you know what? When I'm driving, there's never terrible drivers. I don't see terrible drivers. Occasionally there'll be someone that, perhaps did it oops, and I'm like, no big deal. I get it. I've made oopses myself, You make a sudden change lane or something popped up in your head and you're like, oh, I have to exit right away. It's not that you're a bad driver or that you're purposely, creating chaos in everybody else's world. It's just, something popped up in your head and you moved quickly. So so in his world, he was always seeing bad drivers. In my world, I was always seeing great drivers, considerate drivers, courteous drivers, and an occasional slip up. And for him, it was the other way around because that's what he was looking for. His point of view was that the world was full of horrible drivers and the world produced pretty much. I believe I have rock star parking and the universe produces. I get amazing parking stalls. So where do these things follow into your life? What are your points of view around money? What are your points of view about your job, your relationship? So when you stop and take a look at your life, what is it that you have that you've created limitations or things to be upset about, and that follows through into your life? I mean, there's other sayings like you won't see it until you believe it, and that the universe is really great at providing your eyes see what you believe. And it's not about I'll believe it when I see it. You're actually creating that reality with your points of view and your beliefs. And so what beliefs do you have that you could change that aren't serving you and change your total reality? Are you a problem solver? Do you love solving problems? It's like, oh yeah, call that person. They're great at solving problems. Well, guess what? If you are a great problem solver, you will always have problems to solve. They just keep reappearing and reappearing and reappearing, and maybe you have fun with them. Maybe they create chaos in your world like me and technology. But at somewhere in all of it, it's fun for you because you keep recreating it over and over and over. This may be a concept that just is totally foreign to you, that you just can't even grasp it. It's like, and what that brings up for you is if you have to believe it to see it, if you are in reaction to what's going on in your universe rather than, okay, my point of view created that reality, you are almost, it's like, what would be a great example? Say you get up in the morning and, wow, I'm kind of drawing a blank here, but when you become the effect of your surroundings and whatever your point of view is, and it creates your reality, you pretty much make yourself a victim of it. And so when you stay in victim mode and you aren't able to see a way out, you are at the cause and effect, rather than what can I do to change this? What can I do different? This doesn't actually work for me. I don't like driving where there are terrible, crazy, chaotic drivers. I like a peaceful drive. I like finding a parking spot all the time, and somewhere I must like having chaos and upset with technology because I keep recreating that. And I don't know, until I am willing to let go of that, I guess that's just going to keep occurring in my world. So back to problem solver, being a problem solver. And what if you saw, and you see everything as a problem for you to solve because it's a challenge and it's fun for you, or maybe outwardly it's not even fun for you, it creates chaos in your world, but on some level it is fun for you because you keep creating it. What if you started to look at everything around you as a possibility? What would that change in your world? So technology, how could I see that as a possibility? Well, I could change my plan to one that has a faster download and a faster upload. That would have less chaos in my world. I could go with a different provider that might cause less chaos in my world. I could just be, well, that's an interesting point of view. I have this point of view that technology sucks and Wi-Fi sucks. And not have a charge around it, and perhaps things would just start working because it's not so much fun for me anymore to get angry at it and have upset with it. So what things around you, put a comment below, that you have look at as possibilities rather than problems to solve, and what could change in your world. I know I'm not the only one that has parking fairies and always has great parking, but what else is there? Because parking is something that is so, we don't even think about it. It's not something that is a big deal. It's so simple for us. But what is something that's maybe a little bit more like reality, your reality with money? Because we are so attached to that. So it's like, I'm not attached to getting the best parking spot. If I get it, hey, cool. If not, I get it. I have the point of view that I get a little bit more exercise because I have to walk a little further. It's not a huge charge for me. Yet, when we talk about money, there's always a huge charge around it because we are so attached to it, and we buy into this reality of there's never enough, and we have all these points of view about what rich people are, so we couldn't possibly become rich because we don't want to be that. Rich people aren't happy. Rich people are whatever that is that you grew up with, are mean, they're conceited, they're whatever. And so you couldn't possibly pull that into your world because you don't want to become that. So if you didn't have that point of view, could you change your reality with money? And we're actually working on that. I'm doing a 4-part series that started yesterday on money and your affairs with your money affairs. And yesterday we talked about getting super, super, super clear with money and the resistance that comes up around doing that. It's like, oh, it's going to take too much time. It's, I have to, print all these. I don't have ink for my printer. It costs so much money. Ink costs lots of money. We have all these points of view that create our reality. That what if, I know I have a person that I know that has that reality with her printer, and she, every time she goes to print something, the printer's running out of ink, and she always says ink is so expensive. It never even occurred to me that ink was expensive. To me, it was like it's a luxury in my life to always have ink in my printer so that I can have print whenever I desire and whatever I desire. So to me, ink is a luxury. It is a necessity. It is makes my life much easier to have ink. And for her, because she has the point of view that ink is so expensive, that's what keeps getting created for her. So I'm curious. I would love to know where you're creating those kind of craziness in your life with your points of view, and what could we do to change it? How can I assist you in changing it by unlocking that limitation that maybe it's not even your point of view. You bought it from somebody else. Maybe that was your mom and dad's or your grandparents, your aunts and uncles' point of view. And you bought it as real and true. And now you continue to believe that yada, yada, yada. Everybody, the world is full of terrible drivers. Technology sucks. Ink for printers is expensive. What is that for you? So I hope there was something in this that you enjoyed, that you got out of. I would love if you could make a comment, share this so other people may find it. Maybe book a 20-minute free session with me to see if we can unlock some of those points of view that create your reality, whatever that is for you. So have an amazing, glorious day. Enjoy the beautiful sunshine wherever you are. I hear the prairies is super duper hot and dry. Apparently Summerland is in a state of emergency and we have flooding going on. What else is possible that we've never even considered? So have an amazing day. I look forward to chatting with you again soon. And your point of view creates your reality. Excuse me, not the other way around. Bye for now.